I'm Anirudh, so I'm working with Zevia, and I'm going to talk about continuous delivery with DeployIt. And since I have only 5 minutes, I'll try to rush with the slides. So, continuous delivery, as we all know, it's about building software, testing it, deploying it, and provisioning. So, what are the major parts of continuous delivery? We have to automate the builds, we have to automate the deployments, we should have automated way of provisioning of infrastructure, we should have automated test cases, and all those stuff. Alright. So the space which I am going to talk about and which the space which DeployIt covers is about deployments. So when we talk about deployments is not just putting my VAR or my ER, my application to an environment. It's a lot more than that. So what is a deployment? So very basic question. So deployment is about installing applications, configuration, resources, starting the server, stopping the server, and doing it in a manner such that all the dependencies are taken care. Then you have to make availability, then you have to configure network. So a lot of stuff goes on, not the network. So a lot of stuff goes on with the deployment. So there are VARs which need to be deployed, there are EAR. There could be a static content which needs to go to your some of your proxy servers like Apache Web Server, or there could be some data sources which needs to be configured for your JBoss or a WebSphere. There could be JMS configurations. So all those stuff which needs to go to a production environment, those handling of those is sort of taken care by DeployIt. So this is like this is continuous integration where we have an SCM, we do a Jenkins build, we do a release management, we watch the code, we see the release, we see the test results. But then we sort of write some scripts or sort of hand over the artifacts and hand over the dependencies to the ops team. So this is sort of the DevOps thing as well. So this is where DeployIt comes into the picture. So DeployIt is basically automating all your dependencies, all your VARs, EAR, static content, database scripts, alter scripts, and content, everything going to different environments. It might be a Solar instance, a JBoss instance, a MySQL server, or a web server. All those things, DeployIt match it, and DeployIt actually put it there. Yeah, so this is the marketing side. Okay, so this, yeah, sorry Neeraj. Okay, so this is the complete suite of Zevia Labs where we have a product called Excel Release, we have DeployIt in between. We are currently DeployIt has a plugin for provisioning which we can Puppet, have a Puppet plugin basically used for provisioning, and DeployIt can talk to Puppet as well, and Puppet can basically provision it. So we are trying to concentrate on DeployIt. Right. So DeployIt architecture wise, DeployIt is basically a Java application which is built, which is running on a Jetty server. So we are basically two ways to interact. First is a Flash-based GUI, which I don't like, and we are developing HTML5-based GUI soon. And then other is a Jython-based CLI, so you can have your scripts, Python scripts or Jython scripts, which can talk to your deployed server. And we have how we store the configuration items, the deployables, and all the configurations we store in a Jackrabbit JSON implementation, and we have Derby for that. And there's a cool tool called as Over There, which was developed by Zevia Labs team. It's an open source tool. What we do is this is basically SSH into your remote infrastructure or basically cloud, and it does an auto discovery of what all instances of JBoss or WebSphere or Logic is running. Then it is a completely extendable architecture. We have WebSphere plugin, WebLogic plugin, Tomcat plugin. I recently developed a Cassandra plugin. Any sort of environment basically we can talk to and have a plugin developed, and that can basically be plugged with DeployIt and do the deployment. Okay. So this is the model. So DeployIt has this modeling approach where all the your scripts, your JMS configuration file, your data sources, your VAR, your EAR, your static content, everything is a deployable, and which goes to different environments like the MySQL, the Solar, or a JBoss or WebSphere. So this basically the mapping, allowing like MySQL scripts would go to a MySQL server, a data source will go to a JBoss, and a VAR would go to a Tomcat. So that mapping and the steps associated with that. So basically in the backend it generates some scripts which are based on templates. So basically you define some dictionaries which are associated to your environment. So dictionaries are like configuration properties. So your VAR or your artifact is independent of your configuration. So the same VAR can basically go to your dev, to your QA, to your acceptance in production. Right. So this is the GUI. Let me quickly show a demo. Alright. So So this is the UI. Okay, I'll just take one more minute. Okay, so this is the UI. So basically what we do is we just make a placeholder for this is my Taskmaster application. Just make a placeholder for this application to go to a dev instance, and basically this has done a mapping. And when I see a release dashboard for this, if I see, so basically this is showing in propagation to dev and QA and UAT to production. So currently if we see nothing is deployed, so basically I can trigger it by Jenkins. So I have made a Jenkins job for it, and Jenkins obviously has a plugin for DeployIt. So yeah, build now. So basically I'm using GitHub plugin and my code is in GitHub. So it's taking the code from GitHub and then pushing it to DeployIt workspace. DeployIt would then basically pick it from there and put it, I have configured to put it on dev automatically, and from dev, basically propagation to QA and all the environments can be taken care by DeployIt. See the version 11 which got deployed to dev, and if this is the dev environment, so this has got to the dev environment, and I just put the version 11 on QA as well. So the mapping and generation of steps it's doing, if I analyze it, I can basically see which script is going to execute. So this is my QA environment. Yeah, it's got to QA environment as well. So that's propagating from dev to QA. Jenkins wanted to deploy it to dev, and from there. So this was just a var which was getting put to Tomcat. But imagine a case where you have different database scripts and different dependencies. So that would be taken care by DeployIt. I'm run out of my time. Thanks.